Hello, and welcome to the Alabama Oyster Harvester Education Training Program. I'm Scott Bannon, Chief of Enforcement for the Alabama Marine Resources Division. This video is designed to educate you, the harvester, on safe and proper handling of oysters, from the point of harvest through delivery to a processor. In Alabama, there are two agencies that work together to manage oyster harvest. The Marine Resources Division is responsible for the resource portion. They monitor the amount of product available and provide enforcement of laws and regulations. The Alabama Department of Public Health monitors the health and safety through water and tissue monitoring, as well as inspection and certification of processors and shippers. This harvester education is required to ensure that Alabama meets the requirements established nationwide for shellfish harvest and handling, and ensures that Alabama oysters can be enjoyed by customers across the nation. You are the vital first step in ensuring Alabama has a safe product for the consumer. Once you have completed the training, it's valid for 5 years, and you are eligible to purchase an oyster harvester license each of those years. You are the first line of defense in protecting the product and safety quality. Oysters receive so much attention due to the few people a year that become ill from eating shellfish, generally in raw form. Ordinarily, people do not consume other raw meat products, but oysters may be eaten raw if the proper care and handling have occurred. Remember, if a person has been told not to consume raw shellfish, no amount of precaution can protect them. If a person has concerns about the risk associated with consuming raw shellfish, they should consult a physician. Shellfish are filters, and they absorb everything in the water around them. They are not able to move from one location to the other, so if there are harmful things in the water, the oyster will retain them. Without cooking, some of these harmful things may be passed on to the consumer. These can include bacteria, viruses, and certain chemicals. The Alabama Department of Public Health monitors the water for these hazards and determines if areas are to be opened or closed. In the waters of Alabama, we have a naturally occurring bacteria called Vibrio Vulnificus. Vibrio increases in number when shellfish are exposed to increased temperatures and can cause serious illness. This is similar to leaving milk or other meat out of the refrigerator. When they are exposed to increased temperatures, they go bad quickly. Your role as an educated harvester is to understand what you can do to reduce that risk. To help protect the consumer, we utilize 3 harvest controls: location, time, and temperature. Let's start with location. The Alabama Department of Public Health, in conjunction with the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, evaluates areas for hazards and classifies them as prohibited, restricted, unclassified, conditionally restricted, and conditionally approved. These areas are designated based on current or potential hazards. In general, harvest is only allowed in conditionally approved areas. For public harvest, the Marine Resources Division will announce which areas are open by press release. These areas are divided to assist with data collection and resource management. We need to know where the oysters are coming from. Time and temperature work together. The Alabama Department of Public Health utilizes a time-temperature matrix, a chart for harvesters to follow to allow for safe, raw oyster consumption. During the warmer months, oysters must be harvested and placed into mechanical refrigeration very quickly to prevent an increased Vibrio count and allow for raw consumption. For shucking or post-harvest processing, the time is not as critical. In general, the Marine Resources Division assists you, the catcher, with compliance by regulating the times that public reefs are open to harvest. Private leaseholders and aquaculture farmers must pay close attention and abide by the times. This is especially critical in the summer months. The public reefs are closed for harvest from May 1st through September 30th of each year. From October 1st through April 30th, specific reefs will be opened and closed by a press release from the Marine Resources Division, and harvesters may work from 7 a.m. through 2 p.m. during the season. All vessels that are harvesting on the public reefs must have at least one licensed catcher drop their OMS card in the box at the oyster management station prior to departing. If multiple catchers want oysters reported in their name, they must drop their card. The card is required so there is accountability for how many vessels are harvesting. You will have your card returned to you when you check in at the end of each day. If, for some reason, you leave the reef early and have no oysters to report, you must retrieve your card from the OMS station. Failure to recover your card will result in the issuing of a citation. We understand that emergencies occur, so you may call the OMS station, the Marine Resources Office, or contact any enforcement officer and we will retrieve your card and hold it for you with no penalty. Remember, we are concerned for the product safety as well as the safety of you and your crew. That is why following the proper procedure for the card is so important. All vessels must have completed sacking and culling and be en route to the landing at 2 p.m. and have the oysters landed at the Oyster Management Station by 3 p.m. Once the oysters are landed, they must be reported through the Oyster Management Station and receive harvest tags. There are two types of tags you can purchase. The default tag is a green tag that is for shucking or post-harvest processing. If you intend to sell the oysters for the half-shell market, you would need gray tags, and you should declare to the OMS attendant your intentions to sell to a dealer certified to handle half-shell product. All tags must be filled out completely with the date of harvest, harvester ID, time of landing, the location where they were harvested, and the dealer they are being sold to. The tags are then attached to individual sacks. Sacks may be burlap or similar material and must be in good, clean condition. When you purchase the tags, you will be given 2 copies of a harvest record. This record includes the information from your tags, and we will gather some other harvest information to assist in resource management. 1 copy of the record is for you to keep, and the other is to be delivered to the dealer you have chosen. These records are valuable tools to track oysters in the event of a health risk issue. If, for some reason, the dealer you have chosen is not open or you need to choose another dealer, you may do so as long as you notify the Marine Resources Division, either through the OMS or one of the offices. The record will be changed in the system to match the new dealer. This is for accountability in the event that there is a health risk and ensures accurate invoicing for the shellfish fee associated with the number of sacks sold to each dealer. Private lease and aquaculture farmers have a small difference in tags. You have green tags that would be used for shucking or post-harvest processing, but you also have an orange tag for product intended to be sold as live shell stock and eaten raw. The information is generally the same. The primary difference is that a harvester must immediately tag a sack when it is full and write the time of harvest on the tag. This ensures that a harvester is in compliance with the time temperature matrix to reduce Vibrio risks. Private leased and aquaculture farmers may begin harvest at sunrise and must be landed by sunset. Now, let's talk about transporting the product. We will begin with the vessel. The vessel should be of a sturdy construction and be kept reasonably clean. The floor should be of a double hull construction so that oysters do not sit directly in bilge water. Oysters should be stored out of direct sunlight, such as under a culling board. Fuel tanks should be separate from the work area, and the vessel must have a marine sanitation device or a receptacle made of impervious material with a lid and labeled with the term human waste in 3-inch letters. This receptacle cannot be used for any other purpose, and if used, must be emptied into a proper sewage system. Also, no pets are allowed on board. Additionally, your vessel should comply with all state and federal boating safety requirements. Once you have landed and reported your oysters, you must ensure the safe transportation of the product to the dealer. The most common methods are to leave them in the vessel and tow them to the dealer, or offload them to a trailer or in the back of a truck. The truck bed or trailer should be clean of possible contaminants such as chemicals and water. The most common challenge is a harvester placing their portable gas can with the oysters. This is not acceptable. Do not cover the oysters with a tarp, as this has a tendency to increase the temperature and potential risk of high Vibrio counts. Again, no pets are allowed. For the safety of the consumer, you should go directly from the OMS station to the dealer and deliver your product. Any delay may result in increased health risk for the consumer. We have covered the basics of shellfish safety, beginning with the point of harvest and ending with delivery to a processor. Thank you for taking the time to become knowledgeable and prepared to provide a safe as well as tasty product to the consumers of this nation. And remember, you're the vital first line of protection for a safe and healthy product.